All right. Okay. Welcome to part 3 on this little Airco. So, I got the front all put back together. I didn't put a roll pin back in here. Instead, I put a little nut and I split the end so it's clamping, because before it kind of wobbled a little bit. And it was annoying. So now it clamps tight. That worked good. Now back here, we're doing some prep work. So this had some taped up lugs originally, and I needed to put some fresh wire on it, which I've already done. And I've retaped the lugs, but they were just kind of floating around there, so I wrapped them in some rubber. That'll prevent them from shorting out on the capacitor at a later date. So now we're down to our switch. As I was saying in the last one, this welder never came with a switch, on-off switch. The way it was hooked up before, I had it into a disconnect. And yeah, I want to switch. So rather than cutting it into the front and messing up my plate, I'm going to cut it into the back. So the way this is going to set, this side is going to be facing out, so it'll be no problem to reach this. And I don't have a rectangular hole cutter, so I have to use a round hole. It wouldn't look very good in the front. So to cut it, we're using some Greenlee knockout cutters. So this is 1/2 inch trade conduit size, which is a 7/8 hole. And we're going to knock it from the outside in. The reason I'm going to do that is because it does leave a little bit of a burr, and I want that inside, not out where my fingers are. Bring it around so you see how this works. Maybe. There. So this has a die on the inside and then the cover on the outside. They just pull each other together. You can get these that will cut square holes, but they're special order items and expensive. The only reason I have this is because the previous job, they required us to have all this nonsense, which was BS, because it was quite an expenditure for someone when they were only paying us $10 an hour. All right. Put that away later. All right, that's how that's going to work. Actually doesn't. Oh, sorry. It actually doesn't look that bad. Better than I thought. So I'll just be able to reach back and click her on. Now, I got to mark out my 2 mounting holes. I'm going to make you guys seasick here sooner or later. I'll pause you and get some stuff. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on time lapse and then put that up, do the connections, put it back together, and then we can fire it up. Alright, so the welder's all back together. I got my switch on, which again, kind of regret not putting it on the front because I thought it was going to look horrible with that hole, but it didn't. Got the plug on. Now, if you're real sharp, you might have noticed that I pulled out one of the prongs. That's the neutral prong. This doesn't use a neutral prong. Normally, this would run a 50 amp, 250 volt plug. However, my welding card over here, I have set up with one of these plugs, 125, 250, so it has 4 prongs. It plugs in, and then wherever I take that cart, I've got power for the little welder that's on it, as well as power for grinders or whatever. So if I had to put the right proper plug, and I have one of those right here. If I had to put one of these 3-prong plugs on, which look identical, but they're not, I wouldn't be able to plug this into my welding outlet. So these are L5 something, doesn't matter. These ones right here are a 30 or a 50 amp plug. Oh, here it is. These are 650p and 630p. This one is a ED507p, 125, 250 volt. I'm only using the 250 volt side of it again, just for compatibility between the two welders. So we're going to plug this in. We'll turn her on, listen to it hum, but if you want to watch me weld with it, you're going to have to tune into the next video where I'm putting sides on this, which is going to start tomorrow. The work is, I don't know about the videos. It might be a day or two. Let's just roll this over and turn it on. Hopefully it doesn't go poof. That would be bad. And there's my welding plug. All right. Hold on. Well, that's not what was supposed to happen. God damn it. Okay, time to pause. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. All right, this should work this time. The issue was a breaker. So I had to steal a 30 amp breaker out of here a while ago, and I put a different one in, and it's not quite compatible. So we weren't getting any power. Now, all I had was a 20 amp, and that's not going to hold welding, but should fire up anyways. Okay. You can hardly hear that thing going. A lot of cheap welders, when you turn them on, they make an awful racket. But this one, just a light hum. No noisier than a bathroom fan. So that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow I'm going to have to go get a different breaker. The issue with that breaker is one of the reasons why this panel is disappearing, and you see another one on the wall over there. So that project just got moved up to priority 1 because I can't weld off this panel anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.